Welcome everyone to a quick review of Watchmen DC Deck Expanding Heroes Crossover Pack 4.
Watchmen Crossover Pack 4 for the DC deck building game.
By Cryptozoic. Friends of the show.
Yeah. So we did an unboxing of this, and then I finally got to try it out the other day, and it is almost a completely different game. It changes how DC deck works so interestingly that I felt like the need to actually fully review this, because I don't think we've ever really reviewed anything. We've done some Let's Plays. We did a semi-review with the Arrow when we did our Let's Play with that, but this was so interesting and different that, I mean, I got to give props to all the guys at Cryptozoic, because they just, with one little $10 pack, changed how the game works, which is incredible. Because I'd say that they were slowly doing that. I mean, when you had the Legion deck building game, which we talked about, they added a new mechanic, right? They added that time travel mechanic, which is pretty cool. But this is super interesting. So just like any other deck building,
what do we have to begin with?
Right, we have our new superhero card, which adds the flavor of whatever it is. So like Arrow, you had your Arrow cards, Legion. So this one you have, of course, the Comedian, Dr. Manhattan, Ozymandias, Rorschach, Night Owl, and Silk Spectre. So the Watchmen that you would assume would be in the game, and that's great. And then of course you also have some of the well, you can call them flavor cards, but they're the main deck cards. So like, you know, like, because kind of like we had what was it, like Best Friends or something that had to do with
Tommy and
Oliver.
Yeah, that was fun.
And then there's like, you know, the what is the bad the stuff that they eat? Mirakuru, yeah, the Mirakuru and stuff like that. So this one has stuff like the Rorschach Mask, the Owl Ship. New York City, I think, is a fun location because, for one, when you're playing, this location is everything. Like, you don't realize that you want it because it was kind of up there, and we're all like, I don't know. And then once we started playing, it was like when the person bought it, we were like, no, because it's so great. And then there's the superpowers, the Dr. Manhattan superpowers that are in here are ridiculous, just like he would, because he's Dr. Manhattan.
He's super powerful.
And, you know, like Hollis Mason and like the writers and stuff like that, and Silk Spectre's mom and stuff like that. So really fun, but there's only 11, so you're like, well, what? I mean, there was a lot more cards usually that are. So what else are they adding here? Well, you don't, in this pack, the big differences are you don't fight supervillains.
What?
Right? Yeah, well, you also, there's a thing called the villainous machinations, and there's also the mastermind plots, and there's loyalty cards. So those are like 4 different things that there is no, because usually you get the supervillain pack too in this, right?
You just go against them.
No supervillain pack. So what happens is, at the beginning of the game, there's 5 of these, so it's obviously up to 5 people, but there's 5 loyalty cards. And the loyalty cards, one of them is you are the secret mastermind. So everyone gets handed, so it's kind of like if you took Werewolf, or I don't know, another game that has like a secret bad traitor, like even Betrayal. They're not a secret betrayal, but to an extent, which we played. You liked that, right?
I did.
Oh, this is really fun.
Yep.
Okay, so we love Betrayal here. Anyway, so you are the secret mastermind, and you're like, okay, well, what does that mean? So you will want to collect the cards needed for the public villainous machinations card. So right next to, usually you have a setup, you have the 5 cards, and you have your 5 cards, and then you have your weakness, your superheroes, and your kick card here. Or, well, in this case it'd be villains, because this is the forever evil thing. Well, instead of a villain, you have your villainous machination, and then next to that you have what the heroes have to try to get instead of, actually this would be next to it. So the villain is one of, there's 6 of these cards, and they are the challenges, and you shuffle them and you get one of each, one of level 1, one of level 2, one level 3.
Okay.
And I guess you can see challenge on the back and on the front. So what they are is you have to basically kill whatever cards are required to beat it. And it was really fun because they're also really clever. So the first one of the 2 you can get is challenge number 1 is the Keen Act, which, if you know Watchmen, in the Watchmen book and movie, the Keen Act was when they outlawed superheroes. So what this does is it outlaws, it's an ongoing thing that superhero abilities are blank on your cards.
Whoa.
So you can't use them because superheroes are outlawed.
None of the power-ups work.
So super cool, like on your superhero cards.
Yeah.
And so you have to contribute 3 heroes, 2 equipment, 4 superpowers, and 2 villains. So basically you're buying these cards out of the thing and then deciding, do I need this enough, or do I want to try to beat the supervillain by... And you can pile them up. It's not like you have to do it all at once. Like in whoever the heroes are there. But meanwhile, in the background, one of these people is bad guys, and they win by you running out of cards, just like the supervillain stack would win.
Sure.
And so they're trying to instead play in one hand this things so that they can use, which I guess I forgot to mention, when you're also handed your loyalty cards, you're handed one of these mastermind plots, and they're like super awesome ongoing abilities that you get if you are revealed as the traitor by doing this villainous machination. Okay. So it's kind of like if we're talking about Watchmen, you're Ozymandias, and you are secretly making all these artists make this squid monster that you're going to use to do your villain master plot, right? And then you have to reveal yourself as the villain at the end. It's almost like you're actually revealing yourself.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Are there any things as you're playing that kind of shows as a tell that you're
well,
being the villain?
Well, that's the thing. You have to play it smart. So you don't want them to finish like the challenges, but if you're avidly trying to not let them, then people are going to know.
Obvious, yeah.
And you're also trying to buy good cards too, so that you can get let's say that outright villainy is the one you got this turn. This one you need to play a card with 3 or less cost villain, a 4 cost villain, a 4 or greater cost superpower, a 5 or greater cost hero, and a 5 or greater cost villain. So it would have to be like the cost is the number at the bottom. And so you'd have to play all those in a single hand. So you have to try to build your deck to do that. Wow. And then once you do that, you reveal yourself, I am the villainous mastermind, and then you get one of these awesome powers. So like this one, for instance, Secret Mastermind Ongoing. Each time you play a villain during your turn, destroy the top card of the main deck. Because you win if the main deck disappears.
Yeah.
And so what happens is once you beat one of these challenges to get to the next one, these all get destroyed. They go into the destroy pile, all the cards in there. So the reason why New York is so awesome is because New York City, during each of your turns, you may buy one card from the destroyed pile as if we're in the lineup. Usually, why would you want to buy a card in the destroyed pile? How many good cards are honestly in the destroyed pile? So that's why at first you're like, but if you do, destroy the top card of the main deck. So a villain getting this card is the best thing they could do, because not only are they buying good cards back that you got rid of that might be something they want,
right?
Because maybe the heroes see those and are trying to destroy those, but you are just like also
you're
destroying
killing two
cards.
birds with stones.
Yeah,
you're taking what you need, and you're also killing him, so that it's helping you win quicker.
Right.
So is there any kind of penalty or things that happen if they figure out that you're the villain beforehand? Or
people will just well, what's cool is once the villain is revealed, attacks only do not hurt loyal characters.
Oh, that's cool.
So once the villain is revealed, so you can try to defeat the villain better, all the attacks will hit the villain, which is pretty cool too. It's like it's so cleverly done to be like the mastermind reveal kind of like. It's almost like once they do this, they give their giant long speech about how they're a villain.
So one thing that's kind of confusing is that it's called a crossover pack, but the way you're describing this, I wouldn't see you wanting to connect any of these games to this.
No, it's fine. I mean,
you can? Like,
any of them, because, you still need all the other, all the villain cards or whatever like that. So I played it with the main DC deck standard pack, and it worked just fine. I think that it's interesting because some of these cards, the way they're read, they planned ahead maybe it was in the instruction manual or something, so that you could have mixed it with Teen Titans, because there was something about, I don't remember if it was ongoing or maybe it was the time travel or something. There was some wording that made it so it was acceptable to use that. Okay. And then before we wrap this up, I know I'm approaching my 10-minute time limit that Chris put on me, but there are some of the deck cards are crazy powerful because they're, like I said earlier, Dr. Manhattan. So this one, Disintegration, you read it and you're like, no way. So you may pay 15 power, which is a lot of power, that's killing one of the main supervillains.
That's like the last
deck.
one.
Yeah. If you do, remove this card from the game and then destroy a loyal superhero or current challenge. So if you're the supervillain, and I even asked, I read it in the manual after, but I tweeted at our friend Richard, and I was like, Richard, when it says superpowers, does that mean like my card gets destroyed but I keep playing? He's like, no, you die.
Holy shit.
You just go, boom, blow him up like Dr. Manhattan did to Rorschach at the end of the thing.
Wow.
Or if you're the good guy, you can just if you're on the third one and you're like, we're not gonna beat this, you just blow it up.
That's cool.
It's so.
But then it's only one-time use.
It's a one-time use, yeah.
That's really cool.
And then another one that I thought was super awesome was Duplication. So this is also, I feel like, almost good for a villain too. I feel like sometimes they're almost better for villains, but you choose another card that you have in play. Play it twice, and each other player destroys a card with that name in their hand or discard pile. So
like an equipment?
Kicks. Imagine if it was a kick.
Okay.
You play a kick, you duplicate your kick, and then everyone else who has a kick has to blow it up.
Whoa.
Yeah. And there's just more cards like this. It's just so...
That's a deep game.
It's so cool.
How would you rank this crossover pack versus the Arrow, versus Teen Titans, versus the
I would just
Justice
say
Society?
It's you can't... I don't think you can compare it because it changes so much.
Okay.
I think it's for
favorite to play. That would mean.
Well,
how I would rank
this is going to be a longer game than any of those other ones, and it's also important to note that this game is better with more than 3 people. I would say 3 to 4 to 5 people because of the whole villain thing. Whereas I would say normally I'd say DC Deck is the most fun with 2 to 3 people max because it gets too long and it gets drawn out. But this game, I think 3 to 5, which is interesting because I would never have said that before. But I think it's fantastic, and anyone who has a bunch of people that might want to play something like this is totally the way to go, and it'd be a great game night edition. I had friends who love deck building games that were playing with me, and they're like, this is super fascinating and interesting in general, whether you like DC or not. It's really fun.
Well, cool. There you guys have it. I said a 10-minute limit. Didn't matter. We're going to go over it anyway. But as a review, arbitrary, buy. Have some, okay.
Just
clearly,
buy it. $10, buy it. I mean,
So that's great. We hope you guys enjoyed this, and let us know if you've gotten to play this yet, if you're looking forward to playing it, what your thoughts are, what you liked, what you didn't like about it. Leave it in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, all that stuff. We are actually a weekly show devoted to all things comic books. So we do a show that comes out every Wednesday, and it's about the last week's comics that came out. We do some wrapping up the backlog where we go into older comics that we like to learn about. We teach, he teaches me about all of the latest in superheroes or things that are coming out in the movies, like Doctor Strange. We did a great one-on-one on that. We've also done some Let's Plays on our old channel back when our camera wasn't as great and our audio was weird and it cut off on strange times, but you can still watch them. People liked them. So we've got an Arrow one, and then we did...
Legion. It wasn't a Let's Play. It was more of like it was kind of like this, but
it was a Legion review.
Yeah.
Okay, well, cool. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, subscribe. Let us know what you thought. Thumbs up. Yay. And, comment chat with Gat. I don't know. We didn't even mention that. So comment chat with Gat. Comment check WGat on Twitter. Comment chat WGat on Instagram. And go to cbscast.com to see the rest of our sister shows. Bye, everyone.
Or Papa Pod.
Papa Pod. Ugh, that sounds weird.
Doesn't it?
Sounds.
It's kind of fun though.
Goodbye.
Bye. I like alliteration.
Okay.